Alright guys, here's an honor to make it $7,100 today. So starting off with the 4 hour, I actually ended up seeing that this wick is just very, very, very strong. We filled in almost all of this, which is important. We didn't fill it out fully, so that's just a thing to keep in mind that we could come down lower here, but it had to be a very, very strong candle and a very strong flip. I'm not saying it's unrealistic, but it could be a reason that we can go lower throughout the day. Now scaling down to the 15-minute was specifically today. This is a pretty important time frame, and I'm gonna explain why. So with that big move that we seen on that 4 hour, that big candle, this is really like the starting point of that move, this high. So we can very easily come up here and then have that little bit of a flip after it, or we can usually like we kind of edge it usually, and then we flip and take out low resistance liquidity, which low resistance liquidity is what I'm about to mark out now. These 15-minute relative equal lows, and this low, this low. Same thing on ES. Now, what really made this a very, very good target to take for the day is that ES and NQ are very, um, very correlated. Usually, ES will SMT with NQ, meaning that whether it's NQ or ES that takes out a low and the other pair doesn't, that is kind of just like a you don't really want to target it that high that gets or the high or low that gets SMT. Now I'm not saying you can't. If it's with the continuation, then it's very viable that you can do it, like it's reasonable. So, but this just makes it to where it's more of a reason that we can just easily come down and sweep it off. So that really had me just very open to taking opens or longs, shorts or longs today. Preferably longs, just cause like I said, I was leaning a little bit more bullish throughout open. So after marking out all of my targets for the day and making my bias, I was just sitting on my hands for that time. Like sitting on my hands, trying to wait to see where we're really trying to go first. And once I seen that we opened and we come down lower immediately, like we have this wick, not taking out this high, creating relative equal highs on the 1 minute. Same thing with ES, we have relative equal highs. And once I seen that we had a rejection, we just kept rejecting and rejecting, not really having a strong continuation candle or a strong distributing candle. And then once I seen that we flip here, I ended up taking this long to these relative equal 1 minute highs. But I kind of not messed up, but I don't really do this usually. So what I did with this trade, obviously you can see that it hit my target. And I actually did end up making money from the trade. I think it was like 2.5 thousand. I think it was like 250 across my 10 accounts. Which that may not sound bad, but for your first trading day, like on your funded, you kind of want a larger day. Just cause you can kind of de-risk after that. And that's usually my strategy and a lot of other people's strategy when they come through to with prop firms. I'm not saying like don't risk after your first day. You can see a really good trade and risk heavy, yeah, sure, but usually for your first day you want a pretty solid day. So 250 was just not really enough for me. I kind of just wanted to risk it after that. So basically what I did, I entered in with 8 micros on this trade. Once we take out this high, I sold 5 micros, leaving the other 3 for runners for this 15-minute high that created that big dump that you seen on the 4 hour. And as you can see, we immediately hit my break even. So after that, I was just like, well, I guess I'll just use that 250 for another opportunity for a long or a short, whatever the case may be. So again, sitting on my hands until I seen this distributing candle, put my stop at the body of this, and targeting this high. Now, obviously, we got stopped out. So after this trade did not play out, I was break even on the day, which is not terrible. You know, it is what it is. Here, I was just like, all right, since we flipped there, honestly, I'm just gonna wait for probably shorts, just cause again we rejected this, and again we have all of this low resistance liquidity. So I entered in on this short. Put my stop right there. What the fuck? And my target was this wick. Now, obviously, this trade played out beautifully. We kind of just accumulate for a little bit. We kind of edge my stop loss and then take out this low. This is a very fast trade that happened. Like we were about to. It looked like we were gonna hit stop loss, and then we just completely flipped in like 2 seconds to my TP. And because how fast it was, my losses are actually up 800, while my topses are up 630. So that's why they're a little bit uncorrelated with the P&Ls, just because of how quick this trade hit my take profit. But as you can see after that, we now this was either manipulation of news. I wasn't really looking at that time, but after that, regardless, we came up distributed very cleanly, and then we accumulated, which we did after that accumulation. We ended up taking out that 15-minute high that started that whole like 4 hour wick, that big wick that you seen. And then after that, what do? Completely sweep out all of this low resistance liquidity. All of it, including the starting point of this big expansion leg. And we ended up filling the 4 hour candle, or not the 4 hour candle, the 4 hour gap that we almost filled overnight. Now, I'm pretty sure this was news driven because this is a really big move, especially for a Monday, a no news Monday. Because I do know there was a lot of war news going on about like missiles and all that stuff. And right now, this price action is just kind of sketchy. So if you lost today, I mean, I guess you can blame it on that. But at the same time, if you're trading this price action, and if you're scared or it's causing you to FOMO or to not take trades, I obviously am just gonna recommend you guys to de-risk and only take trades that you're very confident in, and also follow like Trump to just. I'm pretty sure there's more on Twitter, more Twitter accounts that call out this war. I forgot this one dude that always calls it out, but I have to look. But follow those news outlets and just keep track of all of these tweets that he's putting out and all that bullshit. But yeah, this price action is definitely rough, especially if you're a new trader. If you're a new trader going through this, bro, I mean, like, this is terrible price action, honestly. Like, this past month, it's been pretty buns, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm on a bit of a losing streak right now. I'm on like a week and a half losing streak, 2 weeks. But yeah, overall today, pretty good day for my first trading day. Just gonna de-risk. Honestly, go for like 200, maybe like another $400 day, and then from there $200, $300 days, and hopefully secure a payout, which would be 10K. But we just have to wait and just be patient with these accounts. But yeah, that was my trade review for today. Hopefully you guys caught a dub. If not, don't feel too bad about it. You can always bounce back and stuff, especially with prop firms. It's not the end of the world if you blow an account or having losing trades. It's not the end of the world. Worst case scenario, you go back to working a job. If you are working a job, you make that shit back to get another account, bro. I mean, it is what it is. It's what trading is. But yeah, guys.